told him just a fried chicken eating, beer drinking heathen, melon seed spitting. All I needed was a reason to be ignorant and loud. I'm proud that I'm black, I'm cursed, ooh, and I don't wanna give it back, cause I'm happy that I'm African American, going harder cause I'm African American. It's crazy when the life of an American black man can end in a quick second. I'm trapped in institutions, I've been locked in, my brain tampered to think, ooh, this a white man's land. But I'm happy that I'm African American, fighting harder cause I'm African American. Tell me, how can you hold a black man like me down? Martin had the dream, now I'm here to rebound it. Go ahead, claim your crown, we're all kings now.
What's good, man? Hood Humor Reloaded back. Another week. Hunted P, Brandon Black, engineered by my boy, Janky Ramblers. You know, we got a guest with us today out of Houston, my boy, attorney Stringfellow, man. What's going on with you?
All right, I'm happy to be here. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing today? And on that cold, I know it's not cold no more. How y'all doing down there, man?
Doing well.
Houston, man, that's crazy. Man, how was it, man? I know a lot of people been watching the news and seeing what was going on down there, but you know, you being down there in it, how was it? Was y'all expecting something like that?
No, we've never experienced anything like that. No lights, cold, no water. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I mean, what made it even worse when we saw the cruise guy on the plane, you know, I said, damn. I said, damn. I said, you know, it's bad when you got a little money and power, but you just want to get the hell away. You even sit and coach in the middle seats just to get their ass away.
I mean, I'm not mad at him. I probably did the same thing too. What I'm sitting around here for? What can I do? He's a senator. He's not gonna climb an electric pole. He's not gonna do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, what you think about that, Jay? Yeah.
He was gonna leave. Exactly. He was gonna leave him out in the cold anyway. It's not like he was gonna go out there and do anything.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't fault him because I mean, hey, as a father, he got his, you know, kids out of harm's way, you know, which would be the thing any father would do. But him as a politician, people was like, you know, like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, I admit the optics look bad, but in reality, it wasn't much you could really do. But it's just the optics, and that's part of politics. They're gonna, depending on what party you are, they're gonna make the other guy look like the bad guy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of politics, you know, you got mixed emotions right now. You know, as you see on Twitter seems to be the new real news source. You know what I mean? It seems like whenever you want to find something out, you go to Twitter, it's there. And so you see a lot of people feuding, you know, the people saying they're not happy with what Biden is doing. Then you got some people saying that they're happy with the way things are going. Like, how do y'all feel about it? You think he's holding up to what he said he was going to do?
I mean, actually, it's too soon for me to really tell. I'm waiting for the 1400.
Yeah.
Right, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a good president. Yeah, I'm with you. I'll wait. I'll see how long it takes to get to 1400. Then I'll make a decision on whether he's good or not.
It's already passed the House. So basically it should be here pretty soon.
Yeah,
you think
hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah, you're right, hopefully. But until then, we just gonna see, man, because it's a lot of people that need aid. I mean, they think it's funny because not a lot of people lost their job to the COVID situation, but a lot of people was forced to leave their job because of COVID, because like they don't have people to watch their kids.
Right.
So you got people who really need that cash right now. I mean, some people laugh and say, "Well, what the hell is 1,400 going to do?" In reality, yeah, like if you really need 1,400 that bad, if that's going to pull you out of the dirt, some people was in real bad shape from the get go. But anything will help, So shit, if this gonna come, send it.
I mean, it's the thought that counts. Because in reality, $1,400 is not gonna make that much of a difference if a person has been unemployed for 6 to 8 months. I mean, they need $1,400 a month to come consistently on a reoccurring basis, not just a one-time lump sum.
Very true.
That's not really going to help people who've been out of work for a long period of time.
Very true.
Yeah.
Now,
but at the same time, I don't think the government has the ability to support people like that.
Why you say that? That's interesting. What makes you say that?
This is the first time something like this happened. So,
I mean, just the cost for actually support all the American people for what they would really need, that would be trillions of dollars.
Yeah, which is a good point. I'm glad you said that. Now, some people feel that the aid should go to people who've been paying taxes. Not everybody. But I'm like, well, you can't say that. You got older people retire. You know what I'm saying? Some people feel that a lot of people who were included in these last few stimulus, like people who are here illegal, getting money, they feel like, why should we have money so going to them? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they're here, they need aid also. But, you got mixed emotions on this stimulus stuff. I mean, some people feel it should go to just people paying taxes. Some people feel it should go to everybody.
I mean, personally, I feel it should go to everybody. That little bit of change doesn't make that much of a difference. If you hear, you get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're right. Because I mean, if you are here illegally, $1,400 is going to help you, but that ain't going. That they didn't come here to get just $1,400.
Right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So,
very true.
Like, you're right, man. But I mean, everything's gonna work itself out. Everything gonna work itself out. Biden said he promises this coronavirus thing, you will not even hear about it after this year. So we'll see.
Now,
we'll see.
I'm interested to know.
We'll see.
I just want to ask Attorney Stringfellow this question: when the pandemic first hit, were you skeptical? Did you think that this may have been a ploy, or a planned pandemic, as some people say, or did you know it was a real thing? Like, what was your initial reaction?
Well, initially, I kind of underestimated it. I thought it was going to be something like flu season. But it progressively got worse and worse. So my attitude has changed about it. But as far as being man-made, well, yeah, I do believe it was man-made. Okay. It just seems kind of skeptical about how the virus started. You hear so many different stories. So, but ultimately, I believe it was man-made.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so do you think the spread of it came because, a lot of people having that mind frame of it when it first, broke out, like, okay, I don't think it's going to be that serious. So a lot of people carried on doing what they were doing until, the death rate started rising.
Right. I mean, really, I don't think the government had any idea of the severity of this disease. And I think they're just learning as they go along. And they just don't want to tell the people that they don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
Well, I mean, hey, that's part of the people. Yeah. Yeah. That's part of the government job. Don't have your country panic.
Right,
why would you tell almost 400 million people you don't know what's going on?
At one point, wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. No.
Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. And speaking of that, jumping subject, going since you're down there in Texas, I'm a Texan fan. You're a Texan fan. I know one of the longtime announcers. Well, I can't. You know what? I can't be like Deshaun Watson. I can't leave them when they doing bad.
Hey,
You
man,
know.
I'm upset at the Texans right now, man. That's a tough pill to swallow.
I mean, some got to be done. I mean, but like I said, the long time announcer of the Texans, he said it earlier. They should just release Deshaun Watson. You know, basically, because I mean, hey, if he don't want to be there, you hold him to it. You know, it's like, what is he gonna do? He's not gonna produce nothing. You think I'm gonna go give him my all for somebody or somewhere I don't really want to be?
Right?
Oh,
I mean, I wish the owner
I don't
could
know,
tell
man.
the team, because I believe he's the ultimate problem there. The owner is the issue.
Have you
Well,
They
I think all the
a team, and he has no idea how to lead.
have you always lived in Houston?
Go ahead. What's up, Jay?
Has he always lived in Houston?
Yeah,
Born
native.
and raised?
Yeah, who? Me?
Yes, sir.
Me or the owner?
You. Are you born and raised in Houston?
Come on,
I'm born and raised in Houston. Yeah, I'm born and raised.
How has the city changed since you were a youth? You know, has things grown a lot since you were a young boy?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the city has expanded tremendously. The growth has been just great. I mean, I remember a time when I was a kid, a lot of these suburbs didn't even exist, but now that's part of the major part of the population, the suburban area. But yeah, Houston has expanded a lot since I was a kid.
And what made you want to get into the law practice?
how do y'all feel about people?
You with me? How did you get into the law practice?
Oh yeah, actually, I was a clerk at municipal courts, and there was a judge I was working with, and she was also a professor at the law school, and she encouraged me to go. Actually, that's how it happened.
Okay, she was attractive lady.
Oh man.
But I guess she took a interest in me to think that I could do more than be a clerk,
Okay. P,
So
you had a question.
Maybe she liked the way you stirred that coffee.
I'm not going to go there with you, man.
No, but on another note, man, even from back in the day, as a youth, you seen the city change, from a law side, from the growth in the city, but even from like we all grew up in hoods, you know what I'm saying, like the ghetto, what they call it, And I remember as a kid, I was younger, coming back and forth, the whole beef in the music scene down there and everything, and little do people know, like, some people who actually were around that whole scene, like who was there in it, they weren't in the music and stuff, but like you seen that stuff. How was that?
Yeah, that was pretty dope, huh? Seeing the music change.
I mean, to me, it was just normal life. Yeah. I mean, it was just life, really.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing at the time. You didn't think it was anything that special. But.
So, like, do you remember when Beyonce was just a local artist? Like, do you go back to when Beyonce was a local artist, like before she was Beyonce?
When it was I can remember when they first really got started. The first I remember of like Destiny Child was probably like the Bills days.
Okay.
But they existed prior to that, but I didn't know much about it. But once Bills came along, that's when they really started to blow up. And that was like what, late 90s, early 2000s?
Sure.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Now they say They say Jay Prince is the boogeyman in Houston. Is every Houston? I'm not trying to say scared of him, but is that the urban legend that he's the boogeyman, or is that just to every other state we think that?
I mean, he's respected. He's very well respected. And as far as the boogeyman and all that, I don't know anything about that, but he's very well respected. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, boogeyman.
I'm just, these are things that I
Hey,
hear
Jay
about
Prince,
Houston.
man.
Yeah, I understand. No problem.
And y'all got
I don't
a lot
know
of
one
traffic.
thing.
Huh?
No, it said a lot of traffic. Hell, I don't think nobody got traffic like LA, man. Shit, it's ridiculous. You know, damn. I just hate thinking about the traffic, man.
He got whiplash about that LA traffic. It's real out there.
That shit, hey, it's ridiculous. I mean, come on, man. Like, come on, look. The 10 freeway, it starts here in LA, LA, Santa Monica, and it goes all the way to Jacksonville, Florida. But that freeway is always crowded. Like, come on, man.
So, like, do they allow? Because
they need to get some of these cars off the road, man.
But with them knowing that, P, do they like? Do y'all have like at work? Can you allowed to be late due to traffic, or they don't care? They're just like, whatever, get here.
No, hey, if you start at 8 and you know it's gonna take you an hour to get there, you want to leave at 7, you're stupid. You need to leave at about 6:20. Right. You know, no. I mean, jobs here give you grace periods. I know every job I've had out here before in the past, they have given you like anywhere from 3 to 8 minute grace periods where you can clock in 8 minutes early or clock in late, you know, without being penalized. But you can't do it every day. But that's it. It ain't like, no, it's a hell of a traffic. You can be here at 9 if you got to start at 8. Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that responsibility is going to belong to you.
That's right.
You got to plan accordingly, man.
That's right. I'm gonna let you get your questions off. I just had one last question in this series of questioning. I hate to sound like I'm in a courtroom, you know what I mean? But y'all know, you know, just one last one. All right, so in the cases that you represent, what's your favorite? Like, what's your go-to case? Like, I got this in the bag. Is it like criminal court, traffic court? What's your area of expertise?
Well, I do criminal and personal injury.
Okay.
Right, those are my primary areas of focus. I do some traffic type stuff and some civil litigation, small like uncontested divorces and things like that. But primarily personal injury and criminal.
So
is what I do.
You but you would represent clients against, let's say, like car insurance companies that are trying to withhold.
Right, correct.
Okay, that makes sense. When I worked for car insurance, they were scared of people who had attorneys versus people who tried to represent themselves. They were scared of the attorneys. They usually tried to settle before it went too far and just give them the money, you know, as far as how much was in their contract. So I'm done with my questions, but I just wanted to know what was your area of expertise. Thanks for explaining that to me.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yeah, man, it's that law business, man. I know you're gonna see some wild stuff, man. You know, one thing about it is probably 5 years from now, man, we'll be looking on TV, you know, you may be representing a new OJ Simpson. No, man. But you know what? How has that like affected your life personally? You know, you ain't got to be personal, but how does that affect your life? You know, being an attorney.
Stress the fuck out. I know
it. Yeah, that is kind of stressful because I mean, people don't usually call an attorney when they're having a great day, so you usually have to deal with people problems. But there's a lot of freedom. You're not really confined to do one thing, so you can kind of focus on different things. And one thing, you're definitely never bored. Okay. It's always something. It's always something interesting for you to do. It might be something you've never had to do before, but hey, somebody always bringing you something.
That's cool. So What do you think about the movie Roman? What's that? Roman J. Israel Esquire. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, Roman. Yeah, with
I think it's
Denzel.
a movie.
With
Yeah,
Denzel,
yeah,
have you
yeah.
seen that?
Yeah, I did see that. I mean, it was a good movie. But I don't know
Yeah.
how accurate it is, but it was a good movie.
Ain't nobody
Hey.
working for free like
Hey.
that.
Right? Look, all
There's a
the
lot of
ethical
pro bono.
violations and everything,
Yeah.
man.
Well, I tell you one thing, the accuracy in that movie was him calling to complain about people working on their house too early or late. That goes on every day out here. And I'm talking about soon as the sun rises, you hearing lawnmowers and shit. Like, come on, man, wait till 7. You know?
The thing I remember most about that movie is him snitching on his clients. I'm like, well, man, you're not going to have a lot of clients. You can't snitch on your own clients,
Yeah.
man.
Do you ever
Wait, that's
watch
the one
those
he
type
got
of shows?
the money for, was it?
I think so, yeah. But is that like, do you learn stuff from like Law and Order, How to Get Away with Murder? Do you ever just watch, even though those are scripted, and be like, I can incorporate that into my practice? Is there ever that type of situation?
I mean, you might find something interesting you would consider
Okay.
that you might want to incorporate, but at the same time, you have to remember that it's television.
Okay.
A lot of things that they do in television that you really can't get away with in an actual courtroom. But it looks good on television.
Okay. That makes sense. Just like everything.
So-
The actual courtroom is not that exciting. Yeah.
So, do you think some of the stuff you see on that show, First 48?
Oh, I mean, I don't think it's heavily scripted. Because every time I watch it, all I see is videos and they're talking to the officers, but I don't think it's heavily scripted.
Yeah.
Most time I just
Okay.
like, shut up. Just don't say anything. Will you please stop talking?
Man, I mean, that's just common sense, man. You know, some of the stuff you be hearing, it's like, you know, some of these guys didn't really have, you know, nothing to do with what went on, but some of them like really incriminate themselves, put themselves
Right.
in a like, what are you doing?
Exactly. That's why I say, just shut up, please. I'm screaming at the television, like, just shut up. They don't have nothing on you. All you gotta do is be quiet and you go home. But
Man,
they sit in that room long enough, they start talking.
hey, and speak while we on this subject, you know, it's always been said, I don't know if this is nationally in the United States or in California, but they said almost 85% of black males who get arrested for something and go to trial, a lot of them just take a deal before even going to trial. Some of them will win the case. What do you think about that?
I don't know about the exact percentage, but there are instances where that is true. But you have to take into account several factors. Like you may have somebody who has an extensive criminal record. And because of that, they're going to enhance charges. So they may be facing a relatively light charge, but because of their extensive criminal record, it's going to be the punishment is going to be a lot more severe. So if you go in there fighting the case, which you could possibly win it, but if you don't win it, the punishment could be so severe it doesn't make it worth it. So you'll take the deal. If you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, I understand this. So a lot of people in that situation, they basically go into that situation thinking of the negative, not the positive.
Right. I mean, what is the positive?
The positive, they beat the case.
Yeah, but think about it like this. You could get you sign you up for a 4-year sentence. You'll take that, or you might contest it and fight it. You do a motion to suppress, and if the motion to suppress is successful, the case would be dismissed. But if the motion to suppress is not successful, a lot of times the prosecutor is going to take the deal off the table. And then your client is now going to be subjected to a much harsher punishment. And like a lot of times with these motions, that's in the hands of the judge. You don't know what this judge may rule. So you have a crapshoot on somebody's life on the judge. And you don't know what type of day that person may be having, or you don't know how they're feeling right now.
Yeah. Man, yeah, that's true. But it's kind of crazy because it's been stories of a lot of, not just black males, a lot of males, period, who've been in front of judges. A lot of them really didn't have nothing to do with some situation they was in, but some end up taking a deal just because they were thinking about, if I lose this case, I can do 20 rather than take this 2-year deal, even though I didn't have nothing to do with it. Why go through that?
Look, you just said it. It's sad. It's very sad, but yeah, I think it does happen. It does happen, but like I say, you're looking at 2 years and you're looking at 20, and the system is stacked against you as a minority. It's an uphill battle.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we all got to get on the same page, man. Even not just as people in neighborhoods and communities, but even like politicians, even be red or blue. Got to go on and say it on the same page. You know, that's like down south. Y'all got the luxury to protect yourselves, man. You know, somebody run up in y'all house, y'all put a slug in them. Out here, man, shit, you can't do none of that.
Well, this is Texas. That's one of the benefits of being here. Right. We have very liberal gun laws. Yeah.
We don't have liberal gun laws here, but I mean, I'm pretty sure throughout LA County, out of every 10 houses on a block, you're gonna find a gun in 9. You know,
allegedly,
especially in this day and age when police have been defunded. They ain't. Allegedly, yeah, allegedly. Well, you're allowed to have a shotgun in California. You can have shotguns in California.
What are the gun laws in California?
Well, California, you don't have CCW licenses here. Only way you can have a concealed license, if I'm not mistaken, is if you're an active or retired military or like police officer, or if you could like prove like your celebrity status or something like that. But other than that, you can't, we can't have no handguns on, you can't have no guns in the car. I mean, you can, it has to be in a safe, in a trunk. But yeah, so it ain't like, down south, y'all got luxuries of riding around with, Mr. Daniel Boone on your hip. We don't.
Yeah. Everybody has a concealed down here almost. Concealed are very popular, and you can have a gun in your vehicle under certain circumstances. So, yeah, it's different. It's a lot different here.
I mean, it's interesting to know how much, what's the ratio of people, like, what's the rate of people getting, like, robbed down there? Because I'm almost certain that it's lower than Los Angeles since people have the right to carry guns.
Look, I don't know the exact the rate, but that's not something I usually keep up with. But I imagine that it possibly could be lower. Like I say, you have to consider a lot of these people out here are strapped.
Politicians need to look at stuff like that. Like, you deal with a lot of muggings out here in California. These, punks robbing old ladies and stuff like that. For one, our public transportation, in my opinion, is not as up to date as a lot of other states, so it's kind of shitty. So they need to upgrade that. But I'm almost certain if we had a CCW type of license here, that rate would drop, because who's gonna run up on somebody when 9 out of 10 they carrying something?
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's something to consider. So I'm sure that does play a role.
Yeah, politicians need to look at stuff like that. But see, they make their laws based on the people who in their eyes shouldn't have a gun, like, okay, we don't want to give California, access to weapons like this because, we don't want that person to get it. Okay, just because they don't abide by the law, don't mean they're not going to get one. What about me, a law-abiding citizen? Shouldn't I be able to protect myself from that person who don't care about the law?
I believe California is a democratic state, so gun control is pretty popular there, unlike Texas, which is ruled by Republicans. So, Republicans love their guns and their right to arms. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, it is what it is, but that's why, I encourage people to go vote and, go out to your local voting stand, the local politician meetings and stuff, voice your opinion. Because you got a lot of people who feel that way. You know, a lot of people want to protect themselves legally out here, you know. But I mean, hey, that's why it's power in numbers. You get together, make a few laws change, you know.
Speaking of
Yeah,
laws,
that's what you got to do.
I had a question about a specific law, right? And this is dealing more with prostitution, fellas. So follow me. I had a friend who once was caught in what they call it, a prostitution sting, where they like
Right.
basically the policeman is faking as if he's the one about to get the lady cop is about to give out some poom poom, but she's actually making an arrest, right? One, that's called entrapment, but I don't know how to fight that, right? And secondly, what I wanted to know is, so why hasn't the pimp game just evolved into like code wording and stuff like that? Whereas, like, let's say the young lady is willing to sleep with the man and the man is willing to pay, why don't she just present him with a cell phone bill and let him pay that shit? Or like make it, you know what I'm saying? Take away some of the terminology of what is going for, what is hitting for, and just straight cash transactions. Isn't that a workaround from a pimp's perspective? Because at the end of the day, there's men like me, like, you know, I'll help a shorty out with $80. She might give me some poom poom. Isn't that considered prostitution?
Well, actually, look, was sex exchanged for money? That's prostitution. That's all you have to do.
No,
there has to
the
be
money was exchanged
sex for money.
Okay, so if they exchange, if he's giving her money on the account of friendship, and then she says, "I want to give you sex to show my gratitude," is that still prostitution?
Well, I mean, you may be able to work around it in the court of law, but you still might end up taking a ride that night if the police catch you.
That would be the funniest fucking case. I bet any kind of money. Where, hey, you sit in that courtroom and say, "Listen, Your Honor, I paid a bill, and listen, tell her what you agreed, and I agreed to sex for payment of that bill."
Right, but a lot of times they had that stuff recorded. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, hey.
So really, it should just be he should just throw $80 out the car window. She should just pick it up, right? And the next thing you know, like, they magically just have sex. It should be no talking involved. See, pimp,
Right.
trying to help you out.
Exactly.
Do not speak on it. What's understood don't gotta be explained, fellas. All right, just wanted to clear that up.
Yep. There you go.
Hey. So I bet you right now somebody's saying, some old dude that's a part of his lifestyle. Every Thursday he go picks up Sheila, some white dude. He's thinking right now. So that's the key. When I pull up, I don't mention it.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it.
Just throw the money out the window and see what you
just throw the money out the
window. He got
it
stapled together.
See what you get.
Hey. But you know them, they don't deal with them straight hookers. They like them crack holes. So he gonna staple that rock to that $10 bill and throw it out the window for it. That's what he gonna do.
So you create more problems, man. Now you got a possession case.
Hey, what you say? Hey, how does that work too? I know in some states, I can't remember what state it is. I think it's Washington, where they sort of legalize the amount of like cocaine somebody can have on them before it's a felony or something like that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You hear about that?
Yeah, I've heard about it's either Washington or Oregon. I'm not sure
Oregon.
which one.
That's where it's at. Oregon.
Shit, they right next door. Shit, yeah.
Yeah, same state. Shit.
Right. They just decriminalized small amounts of drugs.
Oh, okay. Because see, some people thinking like, oh, okay, now it's cool to go up there and have 2 rocks in my pocket and they ain't gonna do nothing to me. Like I said, I don't think it works like that, man. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it may be like that.
That might be the case, yeah.
Yeah, that might be the case. I would have to look into it to be sure exactly, what the law is. But if they decriminalized it, hey, there's no penalty for it.
Rock stars out
And
there.
you know, and it's crazy. It's crazy. They call they call from Oregon or from Washington to California. They call it the smoke coast. You know, because all the West coastal states are legalized states of marijuana.
Right.
Now, see, you want gun laws passed out there in Cali, but out here in the Carolinas, we don't got. Well, you can still go down for a damn dime bag. You see what I'm saying? So it's a trade. It's a gift and a curse. But we can keep our guns, but we can't have no trees on you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
so.
that.
What's the penalty for marijuana?
Up to 26 grams, or no, 20. I think 28 grams makes a felony. Anything under that is a misdemeanor. If you're a first-time offender, you usually get pre-trial intervention, which is just another way of them getting $1,000 out of you, make you go to class. And I went to one of those classes, Attorney T, and they told me I had to basically for months say I would never smoke marijuana again. It was the nastiest thing in the world. I disrespected my entire family, right? And they had me up there with people who were doing harsher drugs than me. Shit, I just was a college kid working at fucking Jimmy Jazz. But anyway, it's a long story short. So those are the penalties, and they usually stay on your record. And then that's how when you try to get a job, they'll bring it back up again. Whether it's 5-6 years from now, they bring it back up. Oh, well, we can't give you the job because you got this. I think it has a lot to do with discrimination because they're usually parked in our neighborhoods or doing checkpoints in our neighborhoods in the Carolinas, trying to get us, jammed up. And it's just a little treat, just a little marijuana.
Right. I mean, I think probably in the next 10 years, I believe Texas will probably legalize marijuana, but it'll take a little bit more time because it's still a conservative state, but the views are changing.
Okay. P, you got a question? Because I got a funny one for him, so I'm going to wait after you.
Okay, I just had a comment to that. One thing I will say, a lot of people see the states that have legalized marijuana and feel like, oh man, those people got it good out there. But yet and still, there are certain jobs that you have where you can't use it, like Department of Transportation job. You drive city buses, work at airports. Any city job, local government job. You got to take marijuana tests. But I think some of those local governments are thinking about eliminating marijuana from the test screening, which which they should. I feel because hell, you got more marijuana shops in California now than in churches, and we had churches everywhere. I ain't talking chicken. I'm talking about the churches. Reverend and them. But yeah, it's cool for the people who do it, but for the people who feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna move to California and get a good job and my off days, I'm gonna blaze up. No, it don't work like that. So think twice.
So the employer still has the right to drug test their employees for whatever substance they want to.
Well, yeah. Well, I know transportation job, random drug testing is a part of it. Period.
Right. Safety is an issue in those type of jobs.
Yeah. But for certain jobs, there are a lot of. Now, this is something important too. A lot of people should know too. A lot of these schools, I'm not saying that specific, but a lot of schools in California, especially some of the smaller schools, they hire these contractors, to send custodians or maintenance people to their schools to fix things. Mm-hmm. Something they should know, like some of these contractors, we have to go through this mandated trainer. It's like a yearly training thing where you go sexual harassment, spot out if children are being abused, the signs of neglect and stuff like that. A lot of these people, they don't go through these classes. A lot of these people that's working around these schools don't take drug tests, because a lot of school districts don't drug test. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of being like a hypocrite, because you can't, to me, fire somebody for drugs if you didn't drug test me when I got hired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I need to leave those teachers alone dealing with them badass kids all day. They can probably go home and smoke in one.
I like my teacher on
but what
on
you
one
had
or two.
for
I would like my teachers on 1 or 2. That would have kind of helped the lesson a little bit, because ain't no way Christopher Columbus found a whole damn country with people already here. But that's a whole nother discussion. All right, so
Look, yeah, let's not even get into that line. Yeah.
I imagine you've been in the law field for years on end at this point. You're very experienced, right?
Well, I would say so.
Okay. Do the ladies treat you differently because you're considered a career professional versus, would you think they would have treated you differently if you didn't have a nice suit game, if you didn't know what Starbucks cappuccino to buy, you know what I'm saying, or to order? Do you think they would have treated you differently? Like, did you have a good run with the ladies because of your professionalism?
I mean, I really don't know how to answer that.
He's good.
Hey,
he's good, Your Honor.
You know what?
He pleads the fifth.
He's being modest. He's being modest.
I'm sure it may impact some, but like once you start practicing, your circle kind of changes to a certain degree. So you're around other attorneys and other lawyers. So it's really not a big deal most of the time. So you're around your peers.
You kind of date from the pool instead of like, we won't see you with a dirty foot from 7th Street. That's what you're saying.
Hey!
Look, actually, I'm with the mother of my child, so you won't see.
Ask the real question. He's saying. So now you're dating white women.
No, you won't see me with anybody but the mother of my child.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Hey Jay, ask the real question. So now you're dating white women, huh?
Hey, that's how some people feel. Look, you're not a success until you get a white woman. That's how some of them feel.
Do you work out before a big case? Do you do anything to like get your mind flowing? Like, what's your pre-trial routine? What's your routine looks like?
Oh, a lot of restless nights, nervousness, but then
like the show For Life,
huh?
Like the show For Life.
Yeah, it's a lot of stress when you get ready for a case because you want to be prepared. You're going over everything, all your notes. You're thinking of your strategies. You're thinking of your questions. I mean, it's not fun at all. Not at all. But I usually listen to some music or something before going into court to get pumped up.
And
Tupac or something like that.
Tupac. And then you go into the courtroom? Lord.
Yeah.
You go up in there.
Be ready to fight somebody when they in the courtroom, do they really scream objection at you and shit like that? Like, do they be like, objection when you're making a good point?
In trial.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll do it in trial, but to a certain degree, but they don't usually do it as much as you see it on TV. No. I
think I make a good attorney. I go in there and argue with somebody all day.
That's a good point you made.
Sometimes it pisses the judge off if you argue too much. If you go in there just screaming objection, 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 they're going to be mad at you.
Bro, some people, that may be some of their tactics, you know what I'm saying? But, we need more Black attorneys. We need more Black judges. Yes. I've always said every show, Black doctors, Black chefs, you know what I'm saying? And also, too, people raising kids that got kids coming up, you know what I'm saying? We got to let our kids know that not every Black person is going to make it in entertainment. So some of you kids growing up, when you get out of high school, and if you decide to go to college or not, you got good jobs like garbage men, work for your water and power. Some people are going to have to get a real 9 to 5.
I would love to be the next Judge Mathis or Judge Judy.
Hey, me and Judge Joe Brown, man, he grew up in the same area that I grew up in. I found that out. That's crazy.
Wow.
Right.
So yeah, but man, we gotta we getting together, man. Like I was telling Jay earlier, I say we woke about stuff. I'm talking about as far as Black people, is like it seemed to be like a lot more Black youth are more woke nowadays. I think through this pandemic, it gave a lot of people time to think and figure out what they want to do to themselves. Because I was actually watching the show. Well, not a show. I seen a commercial yesterday about black businesses prevailing through the pandemic, because the only thing you've been hearing about is negativity, but you also had a lot of positive going. I don't know if y'all seen that.
I'm feeling it.
Show or
It's I can't remember that. It's like a little show. Yeah, like black businesses that were finna launch before the pandemic, and they decided to continue to launch, and a lot of them made it through there. You know what I'm saying? And they said making it through that pandemic gave them strength. So now when something else come up,
yeah, we was flipping in the Carolinas. We was flipping them unemployment checks, boy. That's what we was doing.
Hey, a lot of people. Some people made more money on unemployment this year, than they would have at work. You know what I'm saying?
That was me last year.
That's true.
I'm a living testimony of that.
Had some.
Yeah.
Hey, you had some cat in California, man, working part-time, only getting a few $100s every 2 weeks. Then that unemployment, they were getting $4,200 a month. Shit, I seen them pull up in Lexuses and mink coats. I was like, man.
Thought it was the 70s, baby.
I think same thing here. Like, go to work. I'm never going back to work.
I'm never going back to work.
Hey, I was like, wow, everybody got that one partner that come borrow money from them all the time. But when that dude hit me up to come buy me lunch, I said, what the hell is going on?
Something's not right. You turned into a Republican real quick. What are they doing with my tax money?
Hey,
my tax money.
Man, but what gets me is the lies they come up with. They won't tell you no shit. Everybody know they got some EDD money or something. The first thing they gonna say is, well, I've been working and saving. That's why you ain't seen me. You remember that? Man, I ain't seen you in about 3 weeks. I came up. So, I mean, you mean to tell me you came up with something to buy a new Mercedes or something?
Man, these dudes out here making fictional companies just to get the paycheck protection money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
That's scandalous out here right now.
Yeah, man.
Now, hey, you as an attorney, what do you tell these people? Because a lot of people who was pulling these scams out here through the government, they feel they won't get caught. Now, I was telling people, you don't play with Uncle Sam.
That's my feeling personally. I don't play with Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
The little schemes and little money's not worth the possible consequences. You may get away with it, but the penalty is not worth it to me. But to each his own.
Hey, I'm telling you, they had some images on the local news out here about a few months ago when they started arresting the people who was, scamming. And some of the people you seen on the news, these were like average people who figured they could pull a fast one out of nowhere. Say, yeah, when them cold cuffs was on their hand, it got real quick.
You're gonna need that money.
I'm expecting my first child in April, Mr. Stringfellow. Can I sue my baby mama if she don't share some of the tax money with me for my child? she already talking crazy.
Oh man, are y'all married?
No.
Well, probably not.
Oh man,
I'm not marrying someone talking that crazy before the child get here. That's a fact. I'm not doing it.
Right. That's the order. So I mean, no, probably not.
We say probably not. Hey, but it's so crazy the things that people sue for nowadays, man. You get people suing for crazy stuff and winning, especially in California. California is a sue me state.
Well, the silliest thing I've seen is the Gorilla Glue girl.
With the
yeah.
And she's thinking about litigation. Like, you can't possibly thinking about suing Gorilla Glue for your stupidity. But I'm sure there's an attorney out there who will take that case.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because of the publicity, yeah.
Right. And they may pay them. They may give her a settlement just to
shut it.
It's cheaper to settle with than to fight it. Right.
But
they might want her a little change.
But
they're not gonna give her a settlement.
I would just offer her a commercial. I would offer her a commercial. I will offer her a commercial.
Hey,
it's a win-win.
She's smart. She know what she doing.
Look, I was
She knows she's gonna go up there and hit a lawsuit, and they're gonna pay her for the publicity she's gonna bring.
Exactly, because I've heard their sales has increased like 400%
I was
since this
just gonna
came
say,
out.
right. That's why I would definitely offer her.
Yo, so I would throw her some change. Thank you for the free publicity.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Everybody gotta eat, B. Everybody gotta eat.
Yep.
But how stupid can you be, though? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah, she's stupid. I'm sorry.
It gets even dumber than that. You see, they still wear the fake
Yeah,
eyelashes with the look like windshield wipers on their eyes. So that's not gonna change. They need room for that too. Mr. Stringfellow, how do people how do they contact you when they need your services? What's the way to go about it in your area?
Okay, and we have a website. It's currently being reconstructed, so we're redoing it. But the site is stlawtx.com. And we also have a 1-800 number, and it is 1-888-877-2779.
Any social medias where people could connect with you?
Right. Oh yeah, I have Instagram as 713 Lawyers.
Okay.
713 Lawyers. 713 Lawyers, and y'all know that 713 area code. That's Houston, man. Shout out to Lil Flip and them.
What's the best food spot in Houston?
Yeah, man, but Gatlin's.
It depends on what you want.
Gatlin's.
There's a lot of great food out here. What you say?
Gatlin's.
I like rice, chicken, and fish.
Yeah.
That's my three things I like: rice, fish, and chicken.
Rice, chicken, and fish. Well, for seafood, you need to
Panda Express,
check out Papados or something like that.
Okay, Papados. I think I seen that in
And
Texas.
chicken. Right, chicken, like fried chicken, I would suggest you try like French's.
Okay, all right.
And,
that sounds like my type of place right there. That's my type of establishment.
Yes, sir. But barbecue is plenty. So Gatlin's is good. Ray's, there's Killings, man. There's a lot of good barbecue here, if that's what you like.
Tar said, he said, I don't know about that. I'm more of a chitlin man. You know?
No, I don't eat chitlin.
Would you say I don't mess around with them bowels, huh?
Yeah, I don't mess around with them.
Oh man, hey, but a lot of people don't know, man. We're gonna be on a few more minutes, but before we get out of here, this weekend All-Star game is still coming up. A lot of people didn't know they were still having the NBA All-Star game is March 7th. It should be interesting. A lot of interesting. Jimmy Butler, he didn't accept his spot because Bam Adebayo got snubbed. So he said, if he's not gonna go, I ain't going. So I'm like, what do you think about that, man?
I mean, are people going to actually attend the game? Or are they going to allow people in?
They may, because the game is in Atlanta. So I think that arena has I think it might have about 1,500 or about 2,500 people in or something like that. But
I mean, to me, it wouldn't even be worth going to that with this COVID situation going on, because it's not going to be the same. Usually, the All-Star game is about the festivities surrounding All-Star game. But right now, I think a lot of people still going to show up and show out because they don't take COVID seriously. But me personally, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, well, they need to take it serious, man. And don't forget, daylight savings time is coming up in 2 weeks. We're going to spring forward, so y'all get ready to lose an hour of sleep in a couple weeks. Already, man. But one thing, damn, I hate when we lose that hour of sleep, man. It seemed like that's the night you had the best rest.
That's true.
That's when you need an hour the most.
Man. But hey, Jay, man, you got anything you want to say before we get up out of here, man?
I'm just thankful for the opportunity to speak with you, sir. I know it probably usually costs a few dollars to have you on the line this long. So I'm thankful for you, man. And I wish you the best in your career. And hopefully you get just as big as Judge Mathis.
Oh, man, I thank y'all. I thank y'all for having me on and giving me the opportunity.
And ladies, he's an attorney under 50. He's not no old man. So y'all hit him up with the inbox, like proper things though. Don't be sending him the nudes and stuff,
I did have one question. If I could just ask you one last question about the whole process of becoming an attorney, sir. Could you give me like just a brief summary of how long it took you to get to where you're at now, like in terms of years?
Well, generally it takes about 7 years to be an attorney. You have to have your 4 years of undergrad, and then you have 3 years of law school. But I had a gap in between because I graduated undergrad a long time ago, and I worked, and I went back to law school at a later time. So it was 3 additional years. But total.
What school you went to?
Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah, it's TSU.
Yeah, they wasn't doing cheat sheets.
TMSL.
There was no cheat sheets in that, P. That don't sound like cheat sheets. They were doing their work out there.
What was it?
No, it's hard to teach law school now. It's hard to teach.
What they say? Wasn't like the little Asian girls at Everest College out here in California, putting the notes in their water bottle and turning it into their friends so they could see it,
No, it's not like that.
Stop snitching on them girls at Everest, man. They probably didn't.
Hey, ain't no more Everest. Hey, y'all,
you got something against those people at Everest?
Y'all look at the story how they screwed a lot of people out of money allegedly, man. Then y'all gonna see what we talking about. But yeah, man. Hey, man, it was another week down, man. The last day of February. Hell, tomorrow the new month, man. Start your month off right, man. Eat healthier. Leave the shit alone. Leave the drugs alone. Give more hugs. Do your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? T down there in the H. Jay down there in the Carolinas. I'm out here in LA, man. My boy Brandon Black, man. Shout out to B, man. B out there handling business, man. B got a lot of good stuff going on, man.
Yes. And Brandon, thank you for letting me take your seat.
Yeah, man, we're gonna be back.
But you gotta come back. This is your seat, brother. So with all respect, thank you, Brandon, for allowing me to do this. But yeah, man. P, I'm gonna hit him with some outro music whenever you want me to. So just let me know.
For sure, man. Again, man, another night down, man. Shout out to everybody listening. Y'all like, subscribe, and share this with people. We got more good stuff coming. Springtime is coming around. Summer coming around, so it's about to go down. All right, man. I'll catch you next week. Go ahead, Jay.
Take it away. Here we go.
Summer, God body, I made the Illuminati. Without this black skin, you wouldn't be shit without me. So go ahead and sit down. Your potions pray to me now. The evil's been revealed. Yeah, I'm heaven's hand me down. Yeah, I'm happy that I'm African American. Going harder cause I'm African American.
They pulled me over cause I'm African American. I started to get out and run like old Edgerian. Under investigation, leading nations to the truth. Am I the book of Enoch from which we read? They profiling all the African Americans. Forget religion, Jews is not your fucking reverend. God showed the heavens, Enoch told your brethren. Higher power descended with a message in a sentence. Enough Bible sat in church, searched for word. Found it when I got home, YouTube the unknowns. Marcus Garvey said we probably should just move back to safaris. My ancestors work for free, you think they wanna pay Jabari? Unless you hooping like Parker or foreign like Tony. You a second class citizen, a fortunate homie. Took so many classes, I don't know what second class is. And we changed the country, could've left this bitch as is. Calling culture on culture vultures who only prey on closed minds who so behind they only pray. They tried to lock me cause I'm African American. Privately owned prisons filled with melanin. Verbs and my niggas sell herb for my figures. Black youth, I'm plugged, you should see my tattoo. The response to the stimuli, you put a race under brace at it base and we still survive. So the logo is Jerry West, but we know what MJ did. I'm dropping 63 on Celtics, bitch. Masons, please gather, we gon' eat some chicken after. Educated nigga rapper, I ain't stunting for no. Yes sir. What you think, no?
We just wanna love you too. Let's just end all the games. 50 years later, the value of a skin never changed.
I came up with an idea to bring y'all this mix.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 9, Call My Lawyer, featuring the real 100P and attorney T Stringfellow. Subscribe to the podcast, press like, and press share. Join us next week for episode 10. Thank you.